morning, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. And on the other side of the glass, I have Lady Spellbreaker, and it's been with the boat a hot minute now, and she is an expert on so many things that I am not. And for a long time, we've been talking about the importance of breath work and some of the other things that, again, she's far more knowledgeable than I am on, and she has been a very caring member of the boat in terms of trying to encourage me to take care of myself and always put my mask on first. And for a while now, we've been trying to get her on, and each and every time it hasn't happened, it has been on me. I had some health trouble, and I had a few troubles along the way getting the info out to her. So today we're going to be able to give the reins over to her. I'm pretty excited about it. I know Heather Joy is literally jumping for joy. Before we go, a couple of quick announcements. Heather will be on tomorrow morning, and I will be pulling tomorrow night. Big announcement just before we went live. Formerly the television show, was convicted in a fairly high-profile trial that has been going on. And there's a lot of people who watch a couple of other channels that but I don't really put in my 2 cents on things like this. I think it is it's a beautiful thing. It looked for a while there had already been one hung jury, and this guy looked like he was going to get away with some really foul stuff done with the use of drugs. He was drugging and taking advantage of them. Now he is looking like he's going to spend the next 3 years of his life behind bars, and I, for one, am really happy about that. See that people from Hollywood didn't get a pass simply because they're famous. Other than that, I'm happy to have you here today. I really am. Lady Spellbreaker, I am going to hand the floor over to you because I'm looking forward to learning with everybody else here on the boat. So I'm going to mute myself out and turn this over to you. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I am. Hold on a second. They say there's
Okay.
music blasting the mic.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Beepy sounds? We don't want beepy. I've got usually native flutes and nature sounds playing.
I think that's what we were hearing, but
in the background.
Sounds good now.
All right. So I thank you so much. I was really blessed to find your channel because even though I do a lot of oracle cards, I teach a lot about addiction recovery and the 12-step program. And, I just actually went live to tell my subscribers that I was coming over here. So a lot of them are coming in and saying they're here because of Heather. That's me. So, self-care is so important. And I know that you're in a leadership position, Tommy, as well, and you want to help everybody else. And I teach so much about how we've got to give back to ourselves as much. I actually just did the example of giving to others and how we could even fall on the floor and lose ourselves trying to save and help others. And when they don't do their own work, it's literally draining for us. And it can give us headaches, I found. I found out the hard way that it can really put a lot of extra tension in our neck, pains in the neck, and cause a lot of pain. So we've got to be able to take time for ourselves. I do a lot of breath work. I actually do breathing meditations every morning when I wake up. I use the restroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, and sit down and do anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes of breathing meditations and just breathe. And I'm really learning about all the different styles of breath that there are, different breathing techniques that some activate our sympathetic nervous system, which is what gets us going. When we get into fight or flight mode, and when we're working out, we start breathing heavier. And the trick to really relaxing this day and age is for one, very tricky. In order to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, we need slow exhales, slow, deep breaths. And it actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system and helps our body relax. In a world that is going so fast and there's a lot going on, there's even a lot that we're angry about when we see our people dying of fentanyl overdoses like my daughter did. I found my daughter, for those who don't know, I found my daughter's poor body cold and blue right on this floor behind me.
So
On
sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much. On 9/9 of 2020, and she was only 22 years old. That was the beginning of this never ending pandemic episode that's going on. And I have managed to quit smoking cigarettes. I dumped my alcohol out on July 22nd of 3 years ago before my daughter passed away. So, this is part of my testimony that if I can make it through finding my daughter cold and blue on the floor, that any of us can do this. We can do what we put our minds to, and we've got to take the time to take care of ourselves. So I want to share this breathing exercise for relaxation, because in a world, it's kind of weird, because my daughter's last text was keep breathing, y'all, when she left this world. And the respiratory system was slowed down from fentanyl and opiates. She literally went to sleep. Her heart stopped, her breathing, her respiratory. I'm about to cry. Just think about it. But at the time, we were all being forced to wear these masks in order to go in stores, and were tricking us to not breathe. And that's got to be the anti-Christ movement, if you ask me, because anybody that would teach us not to breathe, when anybody who has got trauma needs our breath. Our breath is our life. Without our breath, we will die. We will die.
Well, you would think that that was common sense, but just yesterday, actually, it might have been the day before, there was a big report that came out from one of the universities, and it listed all of the things that wearing a mask over a prolonged period of time can do to the body. Because basically, if you think about what you're doing, you're catching all the carbon dioxide and breathing it back in. And we did it for what, a year and a half?
Yep.
Just really one of the, from a medical standpoint, one of the dumbest things that you can possibly think of.
And I was a rebel the whole time.
Good for you.
PTSD anyway. I have a card that says wearing a mask poses a risk to my health. So I was flashing that. One of my medicine women sent it to me right at the beginning. And my daughter was going through psychoses because and Planned Parenthood had her on testosterone. That's a whole nother story. So, I was an anti-masker. I got thrown out of stores. And I said, you know what? You just lost a customer. I will go shop somewhere else.
Good for you.
Thank you. And after my daughter passed away, just going to pick out a card at Walmart, I was having nervous breakdowns, and I literally started shopping at home, and all of that. But even with the breath work, breathing is so important for us, and being able to do this is a very short 10-minute one. Say you've only got 10 minutes in the morning. The same way Tommy teaches us to make our bed. Do we make our bed in the morning? And what do we take time to do? Do we have 10 minutes to do some breath work? Do we have 10 to 20 minutes to stretch out our body with all of the information we're taking in our ears and our eyes every day? With all this stress that we're packing into our body, are we releasing it with our breathing? I struggle with anger management when I see more people dying of fentanyl overdoses. Anger is a stage of grief. And so a lot of this even gets stuck in our body. Our emotions and trauma is stored in our spine. And what a lot of people don't realize is we are all being traumatized during this pandemic. And if we had pre-existing trauma, this is just exacerbating the problem. And so we really, really have to be able to take time. This is a short 10-minute breathing for relaxation. And I actually have a subscription to the app because I'm trying to do away with YouTube on my phone. I don't have social media on my main phone because I teach a lot about mind control, and I don't like getting lost in chat rooms for hours and hours socializing when I need my hands for gardening and I need my hands to do my own massage and do my yoga and all those things. I feel like I could accidentally fall in a chat room and get lost for hours and hours socializing and forget to take care of myself. So that's another thing that I work on. There's even chanting. I'd like to even share some of the yoga because I do trauma informed yoga. And one of the ones I just sent Tommy was intuitive yoga. And she literally takes a yoga block. These are like anywhere from $13 to $20 on Amazon for 2 blocks. So it's well worth it. It's like a couple of packs of cigarettes if you're a smoker. Start investing your money in things. This is a great way, even running along the back of our neck, and digging on the occipital muscles and those muscles right below our skull. We all hold a lot of stress and tension in our neck. And if we're not even taking the time to like massage our own neck, they have emotional freedom technique tapping where you can tap on your temples, tap on, I have the app. It's called Tapping Solution is the name of the app. And tapping different like acupuncture, so to speak, but with not needles. You're your own tapper. You're your own massage artist. You're your own healer. And trauma informed yoga is really good because I learned it by my yoga instructor that all of our trauma and our emotions and energy it's stored in our spine. Um, and the difference between yoga and working out is you're actually stretching and releasing on doing yoga. When we work out, we're tensing muscles, right? When we're lifting, and it's good to have moments of high intensity where we're buffing ourselves up and doing our curls and things like that. But it's also equally important to be able to stretch ourselves out. And a lot of the yoga that I have been doing is heart opening sequences. Because if we're sitting at desks all day and on our phones, our shoulders are coming in and we're not aligned properly. And then our terrible posture is another big causing factor of improper alignment. And we are energetic beings. We are spiritual beings. We're not just this human body. Like we have a spirit in us, and that's a tricky thing when we talk about our higher power, because a lot of us were taught that God is off in heaven in a courtroom somewhere, maybe even with a gavel, waiting to just slam that sucker down on our head when we get there, right? On our final day when we cross over. But it's our higher self. Even think about our willpower. Think about how much willpower it takes for us to say, okay, I'm going to quit being on YouTube 20 hours a day, looking for answers. If we're searching for answers and a God outside of ourselves, then we'll constantly be searching. We'll constantly be on the run for all of this stuff. And I just said on my channel, I'm Heather and I struggle with social media addiction. I'm Lady Spellbreaker, and I can honestly admit I struggle with codependency. I have struggled with codependency. My psychologist called me on my bluff, and she said, it sounds to me like you struggle with codependency. So I've been reading codependency meditations for probably a whole decade now. A whole decade. I read, the daily. That's what I started doing on YouTube before I advanced to oracle cards and more spiritual intuition and stuff. I was actually teaching recovery information in hopes that it might help someone else. Hey Mary, I see a lot of my subscribers coming in here, so this is awesome. We're making the boat a lot bigger, just a little soul at a time, and we all gotta do our own work. I'm going to share this about yoga and how it actually activates the endocannabinoid system. Yoga alone activates our energy. And when we get in alignment with ourself, who here knows about the chakras? Let me ask that before I start speaking alien language to everyone. Before I start bringing in all this alien language. Because some people will say, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? The chakras are energy centers in our body. And we can really, truly have blockages. If you see this as a meditative person. And each chakra is a different color. These are the 7 main chakras on this particular chart. I do teach a lot about the chakras. Oh, good. Heather knows a lot about the chakras. And the red is the lowest root chakra. And that relates to our financial needs, our safety. So think of the base of your spine. People who are having low back pain, they probably live in a lot of fear. They're in their lowest, holding on to anger, and each chakra actually goes with an addiction. Okay. We can have different addictions. Cigarette smoking is the heart and the throat chakra. So there's addictions, not even just caretaking goes with the heart. When we're caretaking for others, I would say that's also called codependency. And not having a proper amount of balance with self-love, having too much empathy for others and not proper boundaries and self-control, and being able to say, you know what, my plate's full right now. You're going to have to, my psychologist is teaching me how to not give everyone from my channel my phone number, especially if they're not as far along in their recovery as I am, and they're going to need more, but I can point them in their direction for an NA meeting in their area. I can point them in the direction for mental health professionals in their area. When some people are mentally struggling really bad to the point of even suicidal, being able to know what we can take on, what is ours to carry and what isn't. All right, so here are the chakras and addiction. And that's from the Kalobi Center. And it's an addiction recovery center. So I was really pleased to find an addiction recovery center talking about the chakras and be able to dive in a little more, because we could be even addicted to finding answers. We could be addicted to searching for the truth. We could be addicted to wanting justice. And I actually threw it all up in the air and decided not to seek justice against Planned Parenthood, but to use my voice and my energy in other ways. and all the ways that my daughter was harmed. I can use my voice to go a lot further. And it's not even about the money, but about raising awareness and maybe saving other lives. Oh, that's awesome, Mary. She's doing Qigong. I'm so stoked to hear that. And a lot of people, I think, are turned off by my oracle cards. But I actually use breathing cards as well. So I've been going over about breath work, box breathing, which is where we inhale for 4 seconds and then pause for 4 seconds, hold, and then exhale for 4 seconds and then pause again. And you can literally take control of your mind when you're in a moment of anxiety and panic and the sky is falling and the world's gone crazy and there's nothing we can do. What can we control? Our own breathing. Before we go pop a Xanax or go run for the next quick fix that's actually going to take 45 minutes to kick in, right? If you go take a benzodiazepine. Just saying. If you go take the pill, it's going to take 35 to 40 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes to work. The thing we can do in that moment is breathe. I actually learned all that in prison, and I brought it back to my daughter, who would speak into existence. I'm going to have a panic attack. Oh my God, I'm going to have a panic attack. And I would say, because she was so in fight or flight, I would have to blow in her face and say, stop talking. And bring her back in this present moment to say, just breathe. No, you don't need a Xanax. And I honestly live with a lot of regrets for the things that I taught my daughter when I was in my sicknesses and the absolutely maladaptive coping skills and things that we use to run to something outside of ourselves, even as that quick fix. What are we going to do when we can honestly step away from things? We have a choice to turn off the television when it comes to stressful news that's really bad for our mental health. Today is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, and next month is PTSD Awareness Month. So all of this stuff, even solar flares, can be TMI. I'm honestly becoming very aware of, I used to research the earthquakes and all that stuff. I'm becoming very cautious of what I click on and what I'm allowing into my ears and eyes, because it all becomes a part of our belief system and it can really affect our health. And people aren't, I want justice as much as anyone else when it comes to children being harmed and things like that. But what can we do about it? We can make a difference in our, yeah, Heather, I agree with you. The solar flares are killing, but we can be aware of things, but not be obsessed with them. Does that make sense? We can be aware of a lot of things, but our emotional reaction and the attachment we have to things can really do us more harm than good. I honestly just unsubscribed to all the earthquake videos and channels. I used to watch that like my life depended on it. I was like, oh my God, there's solar flares, and oh my God, the earthquakes are coming. And it's like I finally am just letting go of all of those things that I can't control.
Right.
I can't control. What can I control? My breath. I can take the time to do yoga every morning. And I can make sure that I'm not in chat rooms every night and chatting. and then neglect doing my yoga because my body was actually, I was suffering more headaches than I've ever had in my life after my daughter passed away. And I kept bringing forth all the books I was reading to help me and to help others on YouTube, to where I was sitting in these awkward positions, sitting this way at my desk, and my neck was cranked for 3 hours at a time. And all of these people told me they needed me. They need me. Oh, we need your teachings and we need. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm having these horrible headaches. And that's when we need to tune in to our own body. And what is our own body trying to tell us? Or do we need to take time away and save ourselves and stretch our own body out and take all the time we need to for it? Can we take 30 minutes to do our breath work at night? Do we have time for that? If breath work is going to help us relax better than any herb, I fall asleep doing my breath work sometimes.
So you said 4 seconds in, hold it for 4 seconds, and then 4 seconds out. Is that a morning or a night, or does it matter?
That could be any time. It could. That's probably a more night. Um, Ones that go faster are your morning energizing breath.
Okay.
The one app that I use is on my phone is called Othership, and it sounds just like a other ship. And the other one, another app is called Take a Deep Breath, and they both have YouTube channels.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, that long exhale is going to be like you're inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 7. Just pause, and then exhale for 8. And you're teaching your body to slow down. You know, in our addiction, in our trauma, in our lives, we have succumbed to going, going, going. Run, 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 go, 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 do, do, do. There's never enough time to get all that done. And if we are just focusing on being still and relaxing, that helps our muscles relax. Better than a muscle relaxer is our breath work. Honestly, this is a long exhale. I'm sharing those in here because I am trying to not spend time on Facebook. I share my stuff out there, and if I'm on a channel, but it's almost so draining of my energy to have to answer comments all day and all of that stuff. It's so time consuming. I do.
Also, a lot of negativity ends up popping up on that platform too.
Yep. And I was so pleased to see you talking about the social media epidemic and social media addiction, because I had someone battling with me on my channel for 4 hours while I was trying to read an article about social media addiction. And she kept saying, yeah, well, I'm not addicted. If the internet went out, I'd just be bored. And I was like, no, people aren't even realizing. Like I said, okay, she's in denial. And then I have to keep telling myself, a lot of these people are not in recovery. They've never done any step work. They've never gone to therapy. They want to make excuses. They are so in their addiction that I am having to say that even with my parents, because my dad is still drinking. And, finding my daughter like that shocked me to my core. I have to keep reminding myself I'm still recovering from shock. And I do have complex PTSD, and I do have anger issues, and I don't have the patience for people who make excuses instead of changes.
Right.
I don't. Let me get you a box breathing. Because the mudras, I even teach about the mudras. I have a lot of cards because we like visualization. We like to be able to see things sometimes.
Right.
And our elements are actually in our hands. And the whole reason they do these during breathing is to activate the prana. Pranayama is breath work, breathing. And so in India, when they sit and practice their breath work, it's they're actually activating different elements in when you're doing meditation, and you sit properly, not with your phone in your hand usually, and you're aligning your spine in a good posture. So most of us could be misaligned. We're protecting our hearts even. A lot of us have been so hurt, we're never going to let anybody in again. Nobody's ever going to get close to us. So we close ourselves off. And then being able to open our shoulders back up and activate our own energy is is one of the biggest things we can do to help ourselves heal. Sitting with ourselves. When we love ourselves enough that we take the time for ourselves, um, oh yeah, Ray Ray. I just saw Mr. Ray Ray. I never honestly found a dead body before in my life. So you can just imagine I never had seen one besides at a funeral before. So that you could just imagine, I straight went into shock, and I was smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. I didn't start drinking. I didn't relapse on opiates. I was smoking Mary Jane like it was going out of style. But I've got 35 days no Mary Jane smoking.
Phew.
Thank you. And it's because of breath work. I have 1 year no cigarettes. On May 28th, I just had 1 year no tobacco.
That's awesome.
Thank you, because that one's one of the hardest ones, I think, for us. Sugar and cigarettes, and every time I went to AA meetings, they were all smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee like it was going out of
No
style.
question. Whenever I think of it, that's the first thing I think of when I think of meetings. That you didn't even have to smoke a cigarette to smoke, and the smell of stale coffee and cigarettes was just overwhelming.
Back in the day, we could smoke right in the meetings, and the
Absolutely.
place would be smoked out. And everybody would be going out the whole entire meeting to smoke cigarettes. Thank you all so much for the congratulations and your condolences, because she was my only child, and it's been really rough. This has actually taken me on a journey into the afterlife if I'm able to go there. Um and I actually work with angels and spirits and things now, because I'm realizing that we don't actually die. All of our spirits, since we're spiritual beings, all of our spirits leave our body when we cross over. So I've even come to realize that, like, we all sign up for these lives, and we all leave when our time is up. So it's not even like someone's killing us. I could stay angry if I wanted to. I could be mad at the heroin dealer down the road that is putting it in there, or whoever put the fentanyl in there, whether they knowingly did it or not. I could be mad at them, but it's not going to hurt them. That's one of the things I learned the most in prison in my trauma classes, was all about forgiving my abusers, because holding on to the anger and the need for justice is actually hurting me, not them.
Right.
They moved on with their life. They've gone on. They're living their life. My daughter's father abused me and her. And so it was almost amazing that I was taught all of this stuff before I even found out that he had abused her. It's almost like spirit put me in those classes. So now I can make a choice to hold on to the anger. I can hold on to the guilt of 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 losing my daughter and the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Why didn't I do this? Why did I teach her that? Why did she witness me and my sickness and my addiction? I'm really using my voice now to speak up about breaking addictions and generational trauma and taking the time to heal ourselves so we don't pass that on to the children. I'm using it as a good thing to promote change and focus on all the things. I'm about to cry again. All the things we can do to make a difference and use our voices, raising awareness about the dangers of fentanyl. I am really glad that you do that also, teaching people about the dangers of that and knowing what we're putting into our mouths, up our noses, in our ears, in our eyes, what we're choosing to believe. Hello, Steph. I see a lot of my subscribers here. So if I
Awesome.
didn't see you guys, then welcome. When I'm in my flow, I don't always comment to everybody. We can't stay on our topic and do what we came here to do and chat the whole thing, or we'll be here for 4 to 10 hours a day.
Right. Hard keeping up.
So what do you have to do when your headaches are so bad, Tommy?
The headaches are really new to me. So
Oh,
most of my life, I had no issue at all with headaches. It's something that is, I had I suffer from traumatic brain injury, and this is part of, um, the injury, and it's something that I'm learning to deal with. And I'll be honest, I don't have it under control yet. Right now, I'm doing really well. Today, yesterday was good. The Before that, it was really, really extreme, and uh, it's one of the reasons that I was excited to listen to this, because there's just so many. I'm taking in everything from so many different places and trying it all, and whatever ends up working, I'm going to stick with. I know that I've been taught some pressure points that for acupressure that are uniquely for headaches. Also, acupuncture, where you can just go and get the needles, and there's certain places in the hand that they associate directly with migraines. But I'm open to anything but drugs. I'm not going down that road.
that's good. I honestly, yoga will help. I actually have traumatic brain injury also, so I'm very sorry to hear about that. It is a trauma thing. Headaches are, especially. I honestly feel like we all have complex PTSD at different levels because of all the lies. Frequency, Angel Wings is so right. I actually just taught the book The Body Keeps the Score on my channel. I read the entire book out loud. And it talks about how trauma is stored in our body and how we manifest dis-ease and things like that. And there's this guy who wrote it, Bessel van der Kolk, is a trauma specialist. And there's a chapter about yoga. There's also a chapter about the frequencies, alpha delta waves. If you sleep with the different frequencies playing, Tesla knows it. Nikola Tesla 369, the power of 369 and healing. It's all about healing. I sleep with those on. A lot of people are scared of 5G towers and radiation and Wi-Fi stuff, and they turn their Wi-Fi and things off. And and that fear alone it will make us sick. I sleep with frequencies on every single night when I sleep, and I leave it playing on my television. I shut my phone off after I do my yoga and stuff because I'm ready to wind down, and I'm reading real books with no backlight to them,
Right.
real books. Another thing I could recommend to you for your headaches is to turn everything on your phone to dark mode. From your messages in the background to your Facebook to your Google, everything that has a white background, you can turn it to dark and then the letters will be white. And that's made a tremendous difference for
Okay.
my. So those are just simple things that they don't put on Google for us. To
Right.
That's not breaking news.
So what are you? So what are you putting on at night to help you sleep? I use usually I have two different devices going, and I play two different colors of. So I use a brown noise and a black or a white noise depending.
I actually have a playlist, and so I'll just grab that off of my channel because it's got a variety of things in it. I
Okay.
black screen, so there's not. They usually do some type of breathing at the beginning, and so one is called black screen. If anybody ever looks at my channel, and if you go to the playlist, everything that I'm doing is also in playlists publicly.
Okay. And
I
that's at Lady Spellbreaker, correct?
Yes, the Lady Spellbreaker 1313 is my channel. Black screen.
Heather, if you could put up the, if you could post a link to that, please, I would appreciate that.
There's
Or
black
Charlie will probably get there first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
there's my playlist of chakra cleansing black screen sleep meditations, and it's a variety of channels. So there's lucid mystics. There's specifically one in that playlist for PTSD. Um,
Really?
so yeah, the Pi tribe, PHI tribe, they do go live and they teach all about the frequencies as well. So you can learn even there. I've got a couple different chakra cleansing meditation playlists, and I've been listening to these for years because I almost died in a fire in January. I was trapped in the house, so I've got like I was first diagnosed with complex PTSD for the first time just last year. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, over medicated and drugged pretty much for years with a bipolar disorder that I don't even believe exists. I don't believe in ADHD. After reading that trauma book, I think so many people are being misdiagnosed. And if we really just take the time to do these proper frequencies and do our breath work, we can take so much power and control back over our own lives without the use of antidepressants and all these pharmaceuticals that are just not really helping. This is another chakra cleansing. One is for black screens playlist. Yeah, I know, Todd. I was on 13 medications at one time. I'm not even joking.
Good Lord.
As a matter of fact, I just was contacting lawyers about social media harm because I was being stalked until the point I had a nervous freaking breakdown and was projectile vomiting with migraine headaches so bad I was projectile vomiting. When my daughter passed away, I was being stalked on YouTube. I people try to drive us off our channel, and we're not going to go there. This my psychologist gave to me, and it is actual ways, happiness chemicals, and how to get them naturally. Dopamine is our reward chemical,
Yeah.
and then this is over on my community tab. If you go look ever, I'll bump it back up to the top. But eating food, achieving a goal, getting enough sleep, and having a bath produces dopamine. So, when we're in our proper self care and we're resting properly and getting enough sleep and taking our bath, I know when I was depressed and addicted, my self care went out the window.
Yeah.
All of it. So now that we're getting healthier, we want to take our daily baths and take our self care is so important. That's it. And that actually helps calm us. You know how the water helps calm us? And the heat, too much heat can make us irritable when we're approaching our solar flare summer, our solar flare heat induced summer. Making sure to have the bath and have water and breathing, relaxing. are natural painkillers if we're painkiller addicts. I myself was an opiate and benzodiazepine addict. Anything to kill the pain.
Yep.
Endorphins we can get by exercising, laughing, and listening to music. So if you're a music lover and your body knows that naturally, I often can't stay in chat rooms that long. I need to go pump some music. And after my daughter passed away, I literally woke up and put my headphones on as soon as I woke up and blasted music all day. And I didn't even know this at the moment. But that was my natural painkiller instead of running to opiates and relapsing. Oxytocin is our love hormone. And guess what's produced from that? Socializing. Ooh, we got all kinds of socializing going. All kinds of oxytocin pumping all over the world. And physical touch. Hugs are so important. Hugging the people in our world, hugging ourselves, physical touch. You know how Jesus taught us about laying hands on the sick and healing? What about connecting even with ourselves? Petting animals produces oxytocin and helping others. So if you are in a position where you're helping others all the time and you're socializing, you're producing all kinds of oxytocin. And make sure to connect with yourself. Serotonin, our mood stabilizer. They used to have me on tons of mood stabilizers and antidepressants. So, sun exposure, getting outside and getting fresh air outside in the sun, nature walks, and mindfulness meditation. So, just being present, that produces serotonin naturally. The sun produces serotonin and will help um, convert even to melatonin later. Have you ever been out in the sun all day and then you maybe sleep better
Yep.
after a long day out in the sun?
Or if you ended up on a lockdown in prison and you couldn't get outside, the way that the mood would change with everybody in there and how everyone would get aggro and fights break out and all kinds of stuff. When you're not getting sunlight, direct sunlight, it's bad, real bad juju.
We suffer that here in the Midwest in the winter. I actually suffer with seasonal depression. It's called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And so it absolutely does when they cloud my skies over for weeks at a time. And I ain't seen the sunshine in several days like a Kid Rock song.
Yep.
And it really does affect our mental health. You are so right. If you've ever been locked up, and that was when they used to break open the door for us and let us out in the prison. We had a little area that used to be where we could smoke before they banned smoking in the prisons. And you could sit outside in the sun, and I would sit out there all day just sitting in the sun and getting it on my skin. If you can't tell, I spend a lot of time outdoors, not indoors, because I do love the sun. So that's a good thing for us to get our vitamin D. That taking your vitamin D is equally as important. Taking our vitamins is a whole nother video. Taking care of ourselves is absolutely important. I just quit meat not long ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a year ago I've gone no meat. And because of the hormones, I did it for health reasons. And watching what testosterone did to my daughter. Actually, somebody asked about steroids making you sleepy before we went live. Somebody asked about that in the chat, and I said, I don't think steroids will make you sleepy. I watched what it did to my daughter, and they were giving her all kinds of medication. The testosterone had her amped up so high. That's what they're doing to the animals.
How is your health since you cut meat out of the diet?
I think it's a lot better. I still have not cut the cheese, literally out of my diet. But that's the next to go. After I've been reading more about cheese, anything from animals. To be honest, I've done a lot of studies on what they do and the human growth hormones. I was having a lot of breast pain as a woman, And I'm beginning to wonder if this is why the young girls are starting their menstrual cycle so early
Right.
because of food and hormones and not. I'm going as plant based as I can. And so I'm trying to find alternatives for uh, Anita too. Do you eat meat? When I quit eating meat and I quit smoking cigarettes, my breasts stopped hurting. Honestly, I was having such horrible pains because I think women are affected more differently than men with when it comes to estrogen and things like that. I think it's improving my health in lots of ways. Soy is also something we have to watch because it can ramp up estrogen. When we have extra belly fat, whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to have extra estrogen in your body. So I've really been looking into a lot about the hormones and how it's affecting and what they pump tons into chicken because they need to beef the chickens up, chickens on steroids, so to speak.
Yep.
And then we are what we eat. So I actually am signed up to go to herbal medicine college. I'm really excited. I just signed up and I'm growing my own oregano out back. And I just want to learn more about that because even the shiitake mushrooms, reishi mushrooms, all of those, turkey tail, they regenerate our nerve cells. They regenerate and repair all the damage we did to our brains and all the stuff that is deep what we're inhaling can
Right.
all those.
Environmental stuff.
Yes, we constantly need to detox and cleanse our body. I still use my CBD oil and CBG oil. Usually, if I leave the house, I use it when I'm going to be around a lot of people and there's going to be a lot more anxiety going on. But using something medically as needed is a lot different than smoking every time I get a little feeling of anxiety. Being
Yeah.
able to talk myself through it and breathe my way through it is absolutely probably the best thing we could all do. Because it doesn't seem like these elites are going to wave their white flag anytime soon. And they're driving us all crazy, so to speak.
No
And so the
question.
best thing we can do is take care of ourselves.
No, you're absolutely right. That's there's no end in sight.
Yep, no. And they're not gonna stop. We can kick and scream all the way home if we want to, but the best thing one of the things I just told another guy who actually just quit smoking the Mary Jane after I did. It's kind of like we're inspiring each other. One person takes a leap and then the next person goes and they say, you know what, if she can do it, then I can do it. And we're all inspired by each other. And he's telling me about, when I was on the West Coast in California in 2018, they had tents pitched all over the beach in Santa Cruz. And it was heartbreaking to watch because there were needles all over the ground, syringes, to where the locals of Santa Cruz, California couldn't even go enjoy their beach anymore. And they were heartbroken that all of these people were littering their beaches and living in tents, and the homeless were taking over. And he was like, they're killing us, and all of that stuff going on. But like, I really have to focus my energy on what I can control versus what I can't, and what is totally out of our control. Yeah, the produce at the store, John Doe, I agree with you that they're spraying things on it. That's why it's good to take up a hobby like growing your own vegetables, growing your own peppers, and using natural fertilizers like worm castings and fish poop and things like that that are natural things that have been around before um, man started trying. Humans, not men in general, it's women and men, think they need to improve everything on the earth that's been here long before us. The earth was here growing our own vegetables and giving us all the things that we needed long before we decided to improve everything. And so I make my own oils. I actually make my own CBD oil and my own CBG oil, and I use the minimal amount of THC in it because I don't think we need that much. I think our minds think we need a lot more than we think we need, than we really need. We think we need more than we actually need. More coffee. We got to get more through the day. We need that next whatever. And some of the breath work, even that I do, is uptake. If you download the Othership app, it's on Google Play Store or on, and you can get a 2-week trial. It is $17.99 a month, but I truly think is totally worth it. They do have meditations on YouTube. I shared one of them earlier in the chat. If anybody that's going back does watch it, this is one called Self Love, and they came out with it 3 weeks ago. And I did it every single morning for 30 minutes every day when I woke up for 2 weeks straight. And it has a lot with to do with the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is a Hawaiian prayer to say, oops, I can't talk and type at the same time.
Happens to the best of us.
Um, Self-love is so important because the prayer goes, it's 4 simple statements. Thank you, and you're saying it to yourself. Thank you. I'm sorry. I forgive you and I love you. You're saying thank you to yourself. I'm sorry to yourself for whatever you're sorry about. That's the way it's almost like the 12 steps in 4. In 4. Because then you're releasing the guilt, you're apologizing to yourself and forgiving yourself. And then I love you, following with I love you. I love you to yourself. And we spent so much of our lives not loving ourselves, doing
Absolutely. Self-hate.
Yep. Accepting behavior that was damaging us. How much when our lack of self-worth did we let people take advantage of us? Did we let people walk all over us and use us and look for love outside of ourselves? That's a very good meditation. That one right there, self-love, because they go through breathing. And if you listen to them teach you breath work, Othership, they actually hold retreats where they go jump in the water, freezing cold water in Canada,
Oh, nice.
and shock your nervous system like the polar plunge. Being able, especially when we have headaches, to close our eyes and turn off all the noise going on in all this world that never sleeps. The world that's always going, looking for more answers. Here's a nervous system reset. Now, I've done these numerous times, so she talks a lot about how to activate the parasympathetic nervous system in the beginning of that Othership nervous system reset video, and that's all breath work. So there's been quite a bit of breath work that I've shared in here. I have more in folders on my channel. And once you get that Othership and you subscribe to their channel, you can check out all their other breath work. Some are 55 minutes long, some are 30 minutes long. Some are 10 minutes long. It just depends. If you've got a busy day and you wake up late, don't be like, oh my God, I can't do my breath work. Choose a 10-minute one where you can just take that time for yourself. If you can't do an hour-long yoga, do a 10-minute yoga. The trick is to be able to give time to yourself.
Right.
When we're helping everyone else, there's an energy alignment.
I dig the whole the whole breath work concept, because for me, I have a struggle with meditation, but concentrating on something that is repetitive, I find really easy and relaxing at the same time. So if I'm counting how long I'm breathing in, how long I'm holding it for, how long I'm exhaling, that's something that I can do with repetition, and I don't feel like I'm failing, because when I try to meditate, I always feel like I can't clear my head. You know what I mean? Like I try, but I can't clear my head. And it makes you feel like you're failing at what you're doing. But the breath work, I get, the times I've done any breath work, I get the same kind of a feeling that I was hoping to get from meditation. And it's a much easier process for me personally, anyway.
And it will, because our traumatized brains, whether it's a traumatic brain injury or if you have abuse trauma, even if you weren't, I feel like we've all been traumatized by this pandemic on many
Yeah.
levels. So our brain all over the place. And I teach a lot about our left brain and our right brain. Masculine energy and feminine energy is what it is. And being able to tap off our thinking brain. I need the guided meditations more than some people do. Like you, your brain probably goes off, and we can't even relax because our brain is thinking we gotta do this. Or I hear so many people say, I can't meditate. I've tried and I just can't. And so even having the guided breath work is so very important. This is a vibration meditation. And he is, I want to say this guy is in India. He's on the Echo Flow channel. And I'm actually trying to get myself together to take a yoga teacher training class, and I'm super stoked to learn
Good
trauma.
for you. I love it.
Thank you. Trauma informed yoga is, I was called to her by spirit for so many reasons. Our Echo Flow, she changed it from Echo Flow to Our Echo Yoga is the name of her channel. And this was about a year ago when I was having muscle spasms in my back. And it was so intense, it literally was taking my breath away. And it was from being on devices, poor posture, and my abusive ex popped up in my life, and I was literally running. Now I was reading the book, The Body Keeps the Score, learning about fight or flight mode, learning about how we run. And I was actually literally running after I quit smoking over at my park 5 miles because there was so much a feeling when my ex called me, and it just pops up back in my life, and it really triggered me in so many ways that I was running for my life.
Wow.
So I had muscle spasms, trigger points, myofascial pain, and I'm learning all about stretching that out and nerve flossing, even moving our neck and stretching all those ways. If you do a couple of these yoga videos with Our Echo Yoga, they'll start popping up in your feed automatically. And
Yep.
it's almost like spirit. If you think of how the algorithm will work for you and God will work for you, your higher power and your angels are working for you, they're going to keep delivering what you need when you need it. So
Yep.
once you do a couple of those breath works and yoga and things, it's going to start coming together for you. For
Yep.
you.
Pop up right where you need it.
Yep. And so for that vibration vibrational vowel breath work to purify the chakras. I think he does the different vowels. So A, E, I, O, U, and you literally are vibrating on your inhale. And these are going to heal our vagus nerve, which is what gets damaged with trauma. And I've heard you say you know a little bit about that, maybe in a couple of videos ago when I.
Yeah, I mean, you feel that from head to toe, and you hit the fight or flight, you get that feeling in your stomach. And when all of those things are happening, that vagus nerve literally runs the length of your body. And when it is out of whack, you want that thing basically in a perfect world. The vagus nerve is always relaxed until you actually need to get out of dodge, right? When you need to throw a punch or you need to run. But up until that point, it should be in mellow. And sadly, a lot of us go through sometimes half our life in fight or flight mode and not realize we're doing it. And it starts to tighten up everything in your body to where you're just a complete jumble of nerves. And yeah, it's all kinds of bad.
Yes, it does. I actually am a fainter. It's called back. I didn't even know this. I started fainting when I was young. 8th grade, when I got up and gave a speech in class, I fainted.
Really?
Yep. And my mom even said, Mary Wins taught me about the vagus nerve, and she's so right. Digestive issues, because it actually goes to all of our organs.
Yep.
It goes in our kidneys. It goes in our stomach. It ends in our stomach, the vagus nerve. And it goes from our spine, the top of our spine, the base of our brain, the skull, all the way into all of our organs, our kidneys, our liver, our stomach. And so literally being able to, I haven't fainted since after my daughter passed away in 2020. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Really think that it's because of doing breath work. I truly think that the breath work, and I'll go on my community tab and find what I shared about the vagus nerve and bump that back to the top. Because that vibration meditation will actually help stimulate the vagus nerve. And whistling also, because it's a long exhale when we whistle,
Yeah.
and so it's activating singing instead of just talking. Talking is a different vibration. Do you agree listening to people talk is a different vibration than actually music? Music's got
Absolutely.
a different frequency, and it's
Yep.
pumping our endorphins, even, we found out. So the vagus nerve is a big part of a lot of things even going on with us, psychiatric problems. I honestly think that a lot of, that's my flute, seventh son. I have to play that in the background when I'm live on my channel. It's one that'll never get me in trouble. The flute with the good exhale. It's one I found I don't get any copyright thing. And it helps keep me down, because when I'm live and all these people are talking at the same time, it gives me anxiety.
Right.
And everyone is energy. So I think about every single comment is carrying energy. And some people come in and tell me absolutely horrible things that are tragic, and it shocks our system. It literally produces bing, bing, cortisol, dopamine, adrenaline, and our bodies are going. It's almost like our brains are going bing, 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 bing. Every comment that comes through. So
Right. High, low, high, low, high, low.
absolutely. Absolutely. So it's vagus nerve is the modulator. This is from the I actually am gonna write a couple of notes because I need to bump up I've got these things shared on my community tab but when people are new to my channel, they I think it's real important that people watch a short video and give it a like that way, because YouTube is disconnecting people who just hit subscribe, because there's a lot of unhealthy behaviors going on YouTube.
Yeah. They purge about once every 2 to 3 months. You'll see about 4 or 5 names that just disappear because if the people aren't engaging, then they're gone. And I
Yep.
have a great idea. You can
Yes.
tell me what you think. I have a channel that I am going on in about 15 minutes, but I would love for everybody, if you want to continue, anybody on the boat, I would love to send the entire audience over to you. Seventh Son actually sent me an app to teach me how to do that, so I could literally just send everybody over. Sadly, I have no idea what I'm doing, but if you, I don't know how long it takes you to get one up and running, but I can, if you can get your channel up and running, everybody can step from here over to there. I would love to continue. I really would. I could listen to you for the next 2 days, but I have a channel I have to be on in
So
6
you
minutes.
go on ahead and do that, and I'm probably not going to go live right now because I went live on my channel.
Okay.
I got it. But I can give them all a link, and that way they could go to my channel. And
Excellent.
got to go live tomorrow, actually, for a oracle card reading, and we're going to be talking about numerology on Friday. So here's the Ophiuchus full moon. Nobody knows about that one. That zodiac sign, everybody doesn't know about Ophiuchus, which is the healer. But we're learning about numbers. So if everybody wants to make sure they stay connected, here is numerology 13 number. And I teach about angel numbers. If you're seeing number synchronicities, 1111, 1313, 111.
2222. Yep.
Those are your angels trying to communicate with you, and they do have meanings. We've been taught so many lies that we need to tune in. We need to tune into the spirit world more. But I thank you so much for having me on here.
No, I thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate you.
Well,
And I'm sorry that it took us a few tries to get it here. That was completely on me. It really was.
It's good.
But
It's
thank you so much, and I would love to have you back on. I really would. So
all right.
Let's keep that open. And Moz, if we could get a link to her channel up again in the live chat, that would be great.
I dropped twice.
Yep, good. Lady Spellbreaker. And hold on, let me see if I can get this. As soon as I go to even pick it up, the cat decides to stand up in the basket. All right, everyone. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and on the other side of the glass was Lady Spellbreaker. And this here, that is a cat in a basket. Good night, everybody. We love you. Thank you so much, Lady Spellbreaker. It was an honor, and I look forward to having you on again. Everybody, Heather will see you in the morning, and I will be back tomorrow night. Same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. God bless everyone.
God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.